Right there. In fact, I was in this kitchen. Yeah, this kitchen is where I was when I received that call. I think I was cooking or washing or something when I received that call. So on the COS, like, I don't even want again. I don't want your COS again. Just keep it. I don't want it. And that was what I told her. Not be funny. If my village people see me carry my load and say, oh, I'm back in Nigeria, I know it will not be a funny message. As in, I did not even care. Because before, I was like, oh, I prefer to stay in Newcastle. I did not even care whether it's out of Newcastle or inside Newcastle. I just want my visa. I just want a visa. I just want visa. Point. I was having like 2 months left, and then nothing else. I mean, nothing has clicked yet. I haven't even gone for an interview yet or anything. Like, to pay them back the amount of money that they incurred in bringing me into this country. Are you interested in knowing the amount? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So from my previous videos, you guys requested that you wanted to know, you want to hear the gist. People like gist too much. You too like gist. Anyway, I am also here for the gist, so I'm going to be giving you all the gists. So let's get started. Let's start from the beginning, actually. So I got into the UK in August of 2019. August 2019, that was when I got into the UK. And my employer is in Newcastle. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I stay in Newcastle. So my employer is in Newcastle, or was in Newcastle, and it still is in Newcastle. So I came in August 2019, and I actually worked in the care home. So it was a care company that brought me into the UK, and I worked with them for 2 years. I came in the month of August 2019, and I left in August 2021. So I actually started the NHS work in November, towards the ending of November 2021. And so between August and November, there was actually 3 months gap between the time when I left my work as a care home nurse to the time that I joined the NHS as a nurse. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you what happened, why it took so long, why the long gap, what my experiences were during those times, during that period, the mistakes that I made as a nurse trying to get into a new job in the UK so that you don't make that mistake, and how I got the job that I do currently now in the NHS. So during the course of this video, I'll be answering some of your questions which I've already seen under my previous videos. So if your question is not answered in this video, definitely know that it will be answered in my coming proper Q&A question, you know, the one that I said I was actually preparing to do. So this is just to give you the gist of what actually happened and why it took so long. I left the care company and the care home in August 2021, and before then I'd actually given them a 3 months notice, because when I came in, the contract that I signed stated that I should give a 3 months notice. And there was actually a particular number of years that I was supposed to spend with them. So if you are not in UK yet and you are coming into the care home, I think some NHS hospitals also do that. I am not sure, but I know definitely of care homes. When you are coming into the UK as a nurse, as an overseas nurse, and you are being recruited by the care home, they give you a particular number of years that they expect you to work with them, because they are going to sponsor you. They are giving you certificate of sponsorship. Some of them will pay for your visa, they will pay for your OSCE, they will refund your IELTS or OET money, and they will also refund your visa, or they pay for your visa. They will refund your application fee. So a lot of money is involved. So most care homes, at least as many that I have heard and seen, they usually, you know, draft the contract and they tell you, oh, you have to spend 3 years with us before you can leave us. You have to spend 5 years with us before you can leave us. So if you decide at any point in time that you don't want to spend this amount of years, this number of years with us, then this is what is going to happen. You're going to have to pay so amount of money to cover the costs that we incurred for bringing you into the country. So that was my case. Now, the contract that I signed actually stated that I spent 5 years with them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So actually, when I was signing that contract, I even didn't think about it. I was like, in fact, I was even happy. Like, I was like, oh, 5 years, that's a long time. Like, I didn't think that there's anything wrong or not that there's really anything wrong. Because actually, when I was coming into the UK, or when I came into the UK and I was actually, I actually started the job, I didn't have the mind of leaving, honestly. I did not have the mind of leaving before the end of my contract. But you know, along the way, a lot of things happened. There were some changes in the way the organization worked. There were a lot of changes which I wasn't happy with, a lot of developments which I was not happy with. So that was why I decided to leave. So I had spent 2 years with the care home before I actually left. So, like I said, I came in August of 2019 and I left August of 2021. And I also said earlier that they usually ask that you give a particular period of months, you know, as notice to tell them. In my own case, it is 3 months. So it was 3 months notice that I gave to them. So within that 3 months, I was expected to pay them back their money, pay them back the amount of money that they incurred in bringing me into this country. Are you interested in knowing the amount? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? So within that 3 months of notice that I gave to them, they were deducting that money from my salary. So when everything was calculated, like the money that I signed that I was going to like return back to them, it was deducted from my salary for 3 months. So the actual amount was, it was £5,000. So it was £5,000. So they deducted £5,000 from my salary for 3 months. So at the end of the 3rd month, the remaining money that was left from my salary, they deposited that into my account. So I paid them their money within that 3 months of notice that I gave to them. So the amount that I paid back was the amount that has been incurred by the company for my IHS search, my visa, and you know, some other things that they actually do in order to get an overseas nurse into the UK. Actually, they returned my IHS fee because the government refunded it back, so they returned it back to me also. So that was how much I paid. Now to the next thing, which is how I actually got my offer at the NHS. Why it took me so long to get my offer in the NHS. So like I said, I had given them 3 months notice at my place of work in the care home to say that I want to leave. And within that 3 months, actually I've been thinking about leaving before the beginning of that 3 months. Of course, before I dropped the letter, I've been thinking, and I was actually looking to go into another care home because really, honestly, I have kind of gotten accustomed to, you know, caring for the elderly patient. I mean, I've worked there for 2 years, so I know practically everything about care of the elderly. So I was actually looking to go into another care home, but then I had this I don't even know what to call it, but I was just like, a part of me wanted to try another specialty, like try something else, try the NHS. A part of me wanted to go with the care home, you know, and to think that NHS wasn't actually paying much, especially compared to care home. Care homes pay much more better than the NHS. So that was also something of concern. But then I didn't want to go into the NHS to go into the bedside nursing, you know what I mean? Go to the bedside nursing and continue the routine of turning and all that. Actually, at that time, a lot was turning on my back. Like, my back. I'm always having back pain because of the standing, the turning, and everything. It was really telling a lot on my back. So I've told myself that even if I'm going to the NHS, I wasn't going to go into bedside nursing. I'm not going to the wards, and there was really no specialty on the ward that really interests me as such. So that was why I decided that I wasn't going to go to the wards. And at the same time, I wanted to have a feel of the NHS. I wanted to know what it's like working in the NHS. Now, in my nursing journey, I've worked in different departments, different units. Apart from working in different units as a student nurse, getting experiences here and there. So when I first left school in 2012, I got my first job in 2013 January, and it was an oncology hospital. So I've worked with cancer patients. From there, I went to another hospital where I worked in pediatrics. I've worked with children. I left there. I went into another hospital where I worked specifically in the accident and emergency department. So I really love to, work in different departments, just like have a taste of it all, know what it feels like working here, working there. So that was what I love. I know you might be thinking, oh, don't you want to specialize or something like that? Of course, I wanted to specialize. I actually had the hope of becoming a nurse anesthetist when I was in school, but I don't know, the dream just kind of died along the way. If I have the opportunity again, maybe I can actually venture into it. But really, I wanted to check every department, every nursing department, and see what it was. So basically what I did was I went online and I was just looking at different specialties that we have in nursing, like here in the UK. From country to country, the specialties, like they differ. I don't think we have a solid research nursing department in Nigeria in any hospital. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comment section. So I went online searching specifically for the UK, trying to look out for different specialties that we have for nurses in the United Kingdom. At a point, I thought about joining the GP practice. They also work as part of the NHS, or maybe like being a community nurse or a district nurse. I searched online and I was actually looking at different opportunities for nursing. Then I came across research nursing. That actually caught my eyes, like it caught my attention. And then I went on YouTube and I learned a lot about what research nurses do also. And it interests me the more. And also at that time, I was actually keen on having something that is not a 12-hour shift. Like, I didn't want a 12-hour shift anymore. I just wanted something like maybe go in the morning, come back at night, go in the morning, come back at night, go in the morning, come back at night, something like that. So to actually discover that research nursing actually give you that opportunity, I was over the moon. Like, I was so happy. I was so looking forward to it. So I searched online. Unfortunately for me, okay, before I go there, so research wasn't the first or only unit that caught my eyes. Another unit that caught my eyes was endoscopy. I also love endoscopy, and like I said, I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist when I was in school. So like endoscopy, being a nurse endoscopist is also very close to being a nurse anesthetist. Like, they are both in the theater room, not really the theater, we can say a theater show. They are both, like, their roles are kind of similar. That's what I was driving at. I really hoped to get into research more, and then I actually sent a lot of CVs. I went on track. You are a nurse in the UK, or you are trying to get a nursing job in the UK, you will be familiar with track. I went on track, nursing jobs UK. Like, I searched different endoscopy jobs, and I don't know, for one reason or the other, they were not accepting me. And this period was at a point when I had actually put in my resignation letter. Now, before I put in my resignation letter, I'd actually managed to get a job with another care home, also here in Newcastle. But at that point, I wasn't so sure. I was like, oh, I still want to try NHS. I want to try NHS, I want to try NHS. So I really wasn't keen with them. I was trying to focus on getting the job about NHS. So this brings me to the first point that you should take note if you are trying to move from the care home or you are trying to leave your job in the UK. Be sure of what you want to do first. Be super sure. I wasn't sure when I dropped my resignation letter. I wasn't sure. As in, I was still deliberating whether to go to the care home or go to the NHS. I wasn't sure. That's number one. So I wasn't sure means that I was still dropping application letters to different NHS hospitals. So I haven't even had an interview or had anything, and I'd already dropped my letter in this particular place that I'm currently working. So that affected me in a way, which I'm still going to explain very soon. So back to my story. I applied to different roles in endoscopy in various NHS hospitals. I know there was one that I saw for Newcastle, in one of the hospitals in Newcastle, but at that time, like I said, I was undecided. So till the application closed, I did not submit. So it just went like that, and I just missed that opportunity. Need I say that I was actually looking not only in Newcastle, I was actually looking for outside of Newcastle also, even though I just love Newcastle. Like I love this place. Although I love to go out, see what other counties and other cities in UK, in England, what they look like, but I just love the serenity of Newcastle. So endoscopy didn't work. So I said, okay, let's try research. So fortunately for me, I actually saw a research opportunity to apply for, and then I submitted and I was denied. Like, they denied me. They said no. They said no. I don't even remember what the reason was. They just denied me, so I couldn't go forward. They didn't call me for the interview. They told me that I didn't meet the requirement or something like that. At that time, I was like kind of giving up. Like, and at this time, it was already maybe like two months into me actually leaving my current place of work. And what happened is, when you leave your place of work, because they are the one who sponsored you into the UK, you need to get another sponsor if you intend on staying in the United Kingdom. I mean, you are here as an overseas nurse, as a skilled worker, as a professional. So you are here to work. So if someone who sponsored you to come into the UK to work says they are no more sponsoring you because you left their job, you need to get somebody else to sponsor you so that you can stay in the UK, or else you gotta get another type of visa or go back to your country. So at this point, I was having like 2 months left, and then nothing has clicked yet. I haven't even gone for an interview yet or anything. So I was like, okay, they denied me with this, but what do I do? Fortunately for me, along the way, I think it was that week also, I saw another vacancy which was trust-wide. So it was trust-wide. That means they were not just recruiting for one particular department. They are recruiting nurses for different departments in the hospital. So I went for that, and fortunately for me, they actually called me for an interview. I went for the interview. Let me also say that for the research nurse that I said I was denied, I think it was for band 6. Yeah, I think so. I think it was for band 6. So I believe that if you are coming from the care home into the NHS, you start on a band 5. Or if you are coming from overseas into the UK as an NHS nurse or even as a care home nurse, you start at band 5. I haven't heard of anyone who has gone from care home band 5 to NHS band 6. I don't think I've had any of that before. But if you know of anyone, or you are a living example yourself, please let us know in the comment section. So I believe it's possible. It's not impossible, but I just haven't seen it. So I guess they declined my application because I was applying for band 6. So I went for the trust-wide interview. At the interview, they gave us the opportunity to actually pick 3 departments that we want to work in. So I know I chose endoscopy again. I chose endoscopy, and I chose two other, okay, I chose endoscopy, I think I chose gastroenterology, and one other department, I don't remember. So I got home and they called me that I was successful. Ooh, thank God I was successful. So which unit am I going into? They said all the 3 units that I picked were not available. That there's no space, or I don't even know, I don't even remember how the person said it. And I was like, okay, so there's no space for band 5, there's no space for me. So why was it on the list? Like, why was it on the list? Why did you ask me to? You could have just crossed it out and say, oh, this one, so they are not available, don't bother picking. Anyway, everything works together for good for me. Right there, in fact, I was in this kitchen. Yeah, this kitchen is where I was when I received that call. I think I was cooking or washing or something when I received that call. So on the spot, they were asking me that I needed to choose another department that I'll be interested in going to. Okay, so they were listing the departments. They will say this, they will say that, I will say no. This one, no. This one, no, I don't want. This one, that, I don't want. At a point, I was like, are you sure you want to work in the NHS? Because I don't understand. They are giving you different options. They are saying no, 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 no. Should you enter first, and then you can go on from there and change to whatever you want to change into. Then fortunately for me, they mentioned research. I was like, yes, that is it. Research. That's the one I want. Thank you. And then they penned my name down, and I got the letter, and then different correspondence about it. My conditional offer of employment came in and all that. And I was so happy. Oh my God, I was so happy. Now, at this point, I think I had about, at this point when they confirmed it, I think I had about few weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so, to the end of my, no, was it 2 weeks? Let me check. Right, so I've confirmed. So I did my NHS interview in July of 2021, and I got the conditional offer of employment in August of 2021, and that's like about a week, I think, a week to my leaving the care home that I was working with. Like, I was so happy. I was so happy. And usually when you leave your sponsor, like I said earlier, when you leave your sponsor, you need to get another sponsor, or else you've got to leave. You gotta leave UK. And they actually give you, after your sponsor has alerted the Home Office that you are no longer working with them, you have 60 days. 60, that's like 2 months. You have like 2 months to get another visa. So once your sponsor says, oh, this person is no longer working with us, and they alert Home Office, the visa is at risk. So you need to get a new visa within 60 days, or at least get the process of getting a new visa going on within that 60 days. So now I have just a week to leave my current place of work, and I've gotten a new job with the NHS. I mean, that means I have like 2 months for them to process my visa, you know, do my sponsorship and all that. I mean, that should be a walk in the park, isn't it? A whole 2 months, like a whole 2 months, like. So I thought. First month went, certificates of sponsorship, you know, agree. So after they gave me the conditional offer letter, they needed some documents from me, which included my DBS. They were going to run it's like a police check. They run a police check on you, that's the DBS. They'll get some of your information to verify. They'll ask you to bring some stuff, your bank statement, to verify your address, you know, your passport, your BRP and everything. You know, if you watch that video, you know, I'm going to link it right here. So that was where I went to do all that. So in order for them to actually verify my identity. So after I did that, I gave them permission to actually run my DBS, and that took, I think that took 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Remember, I have just 2 months left, though, just 2 months to renew my visa, I mean to get a new visa. So the DBS took about 2-3 weeks, and then I had like 1 month plus left. And I did not even in the world, like I did not ever think assigning certificate of sponsorship was going to take so long at all. And then after my DBS was done, okay, so now the certificate of sponsorship, that's what we are waiting for. And we are waiting, and we are waiting, and we are waiting. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. No certificates of sponsorship. Till the 60 days actually ended, I did not receive my certificate of sponsorship. Like, I kept on calling. I was calling and calling and calling. I would send email, demand to speak with people in charge of the COS. Like, what is happening? I've left my place of work. I need a certificate of sponsorship. And then they would tell me, oh, you have to call back. It's not yet ready. It's not this. As in different stories. And I'm like, hey, even I say my village people. See, this thing that I'm laughing, it wasn't a laughing matter. Because it would not be funny if my village people see me carry my load and say, oh, I'm back in Nigeria. I know it will not be a funny something. I was so tense. Like, I was, that period was, I was agitated. Like, I was on edge. That's the word. I was on edge. Like, I need this thing. You are delaying. At a point, I think about a month into my grace period, that's the 60 days period that you have to get a new visa. I think a month into that, I actually had to tell the HR and say, look, I have left my employer, okay? I have left them. So, you know, they might not know that I have left them, because when I was submitting my CV, when I was applying for the job, I was still with my employer. So I was telling them, see, I've left my employer. So my visa is at stake here. I need a certificate of sponsorship so that I can apply for my visa. And then it was just taking so long and taking long and taking long. At a point, they were saying the person who is in charge was on holiday, was on leave. On leave, when a matter that is as important as my visa is on the table. Somebody is on leave. Like, I was so downcasted. I was so like, I was just like, what will happen? Like, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? Because the truth is, as sweet as the UK is, I do not want to be an illegal immigrant. I don't want to. No, I don't want to. So I needed to do the right thing. I needed to get my certificate of sponsorship. I needed this at that time. And at the end of the day, till my 60 days actually finished, I didn't get the COS. I did not. So what did I do? So this is what I did. About 2-3 weeks to the end of the 60 days grace period that I talked about, I had woken up on that day. I woke up, and you know, when you wake up, you're supposed to wake up refreshed and happy. It wasn't like I did anything major that could have stressed me the previous day. But I woke up with a burden in my spirit. Like, I was just so burdened. And it was this visa thing that was because of course I've been praying, I've been trusting God that yes, this visa is going to come true. It's going to come true before it actually expires. I was very hopeful. I was trusting God and all that. And then I woke up with this burden, like, you are sleeping, you are sleeping, you are sleeping. You are not doing what you are supposed to do. You are not doing the right thing. Okay, what do I do? And then I just felt that I should start, calling. And meanwhile, you know that I said I had secured a place with a care home, with one care home earlier before, because I was thinking I was going to go into another care home. So when I got my NHS job, I have cancelled with them. I have told them, sorry, I am not doing it again. Bye-bye. So I even tried to contact those ones when at the period when I was agitated and like, oh, I need a visa. Even if it's care home or anyway, I just need a visa. I was trying to contact those ones. Those ones just ignored me, like, no. You said no to us, so they did not even have my time. Like, we gave you job, you said no, so why are you calling us? As in, they did not even have my time, so I was on my own. So I woke up that day, I was so burdened, and then I just felt in my spirit like this is what I needed to do. So I started looking online and searching for different agencies that recruit for care homes in the UK. So I think I got about 10 or 12 agencies. During those period of my 60 days grace period, I was actually picking up agency shifts. Like, if I wasn't picking up agency, how am I gonna survive? Of course, I have some money in savings, but no, I can't just sit down doing nothing. Of course, I was doing YouTube too, but girls got to be on the move, doing the nursing thing. So I was actually picking up agency shifts here and there. I started searching and looking for agencies that actually recruit nurses for care homes here in the UK. Remember, I'm already in the UK, so it's not like they are bringing me from Nigeria here. So it was easy for me to actually see a lot of agencies that are into that. So I got like 10 emails of those agencies, different agencies, and I sent mails to them. As in, if you see the way I composed the message, like urgent in capital, like urgent need for COS or NMC registered nurse. And then in the body, I told them I'm a registered nurse with I have my PIN already. I have 2 years working experience in the care home. I need a job, and I need it urgently because my visa has expired and I'm already using up my grace period. I have just 1 week left. So that was what I did. So I sent that urgent message, as in I did not even care, because before I was like, oh, I prefer to stay in Newcastle. I did not even care whether it's out of Newcastle or inside Newcastle. I just want my visa. I just want a visa. I just want visa. So I sent here, I sent to Manchester, I even sent to London. You've been on this channel for a while. You know that I do say that London is not my place. Like, I can go there for holiday, you know, go there for holiday, go and enjoy life there. But we got to come back to Newcastle. Like, life of Newcastle is, it is, I don't know, I just feel comfortable here. So like, I wasn't ready to leave Newcastle, but at that moment, I was like, anywhere, I don't even mind. I even sent to people in London. I said anywhere, all those agencies so those agencies, some of them actually replied my message. I think about 5 or 6 of them replied my messages, and then I called some also who also replied my messages. They replied my call, they called me back, and then I think I got job interviews after I submitted my CV and all that. I got job interviews from about 4 care homes, one in Manchester, one in Cambridge. I think Cambridge is in London, I'm not sure. Cambridge should be close to London, I think. One in Cambridge. I got one here in Newcastle, and I think I got one in Oxford. I got one in Wolverhampton too. So I think I got like 5 offers within 2 to 3 days, and I was so happy. So it was now left to me to choose which one I wanted to go for. So along the way, some of them scheduled interviews, some of them were saying they couldn't schedule interview, some they scheduled interview and they were not available at the point. As in, Icha was doing, Jesus, as in, see that period, I was so tense. Like, I was so tense. Whew. At the end of the day, I did interviews with some of them. I think I did interview with about 3 of them or so. And then the one that I got here in Newcastle, I actually went in person for the interview. So at the end of the day, I picked the one here in Newcastle, and I just told the others that, don't worry, thank you very much, I already got an offer and all that. So the one in Newcastle actually gave me the job. So I had to take a care home job. You know, remember, I already have an NHS offer, but they were delaying with the COS. they were delaying with the COS. I mean, I got my offer of employment in August and I didn't get my COS till November. Or September, October, November. That took 3 months. And I didn't have 3 months to wait for my visa. So I had to accept the care home, another care home job. You know, those ones actually processed my COS, and within 1 day my COS was out. I applied for my visa, and within 2 weeks my visa was here, and that was it. Now, you know the funniest thing? The story has not ended. Don't click off. The story has not ended. So after my COS came out, like my COS came out this week. Let's say my COS came out this week Friday. I didn't know that's the COS for the care home. It came out this week Friday. I kept on disturbing them because my 60 days grace period will end next week. You get? So I was like, what's happening? You said the COS will be out in a day. Where's the COS? I'm not seeing it and all that. Meanwhile, they sent it to me, but they didn't really send it to me because the person that sent it to a wrong email address. Like my email address, they cut out a letter from there. And so that was how I did not receive it. So I had to call them on Monday, and then they resent it. And then I applied for my visa. Now, that same week, I think it was the end of that same week, that was when the NHS now called me and said, oh, Victoria, yes, we are ready to offer you your COS now. Can we go ahead? Can we continue? I don't want it. And that was what I told her. I told her I don't want their COS, that they should take it away. It is too late. I'm already with another care home. I'm already with another company. What do you want me to tell those ones? I don't want your COS again. Just take it. But deep within me, I knew that I wanted this. Like, this is what I wanted. But at the same time, I felt like, oh my God, these other care just gave me COS. Like, it would be like doing something bad if I should tell them that, oh, I want to leave. I'm not doing your job anymore. You know, something like that. I really felt bad. I felt so bad. I spoke with some friends. I spoke with my pastor, and I remember my pastor was like, if it is what I want, I should go for it. It is what I want to do that I should do. And so I called the NHS back and I said, okay, yeah, I am ready. You can process the COS. The girl was like, are you sure? Because when I called the previous week, I mean, I told them, when they called me, actually, I said I was going to think about it, think about it for a day or two. And then the following day, I called them that I don't want their COS again. So I had called to tell them that, see, I don't want your COS again. But that particular person that I've been speaking with, she wasn't the person who picked the phone. It was one of our colleagues. So when I now called this week, like the following week, she was like, but my colleague told me that you called earlier and said you don't want the COS, you're no more interested. I said, I'm sorry, I'm still interested. I'm still interested. I want the job and I want the COS. She said, okay, that's cool, because she actually hasn't told my team leader to be that I wouldn't be interested again, because of course they will have like notified the team that I'm going into, that there's someone coming to join you, so when I told them I wasn't interested again, it was normal for them. It would be normal for her to actually inform them and update them that, oh, this person is no longer interested, so she said, oh, she hasn't told them. I said, oh, thank God. Okay, so they processed my COS, and I think the second day or the third day, about 2-3 days later, I got my COS and I processed it. So what happened was that I had to leave the care home that